Hi guys, welcome back to Dadlicious Eats, and I've got a delicious weeknight pasta dish for you. It's got tomato, it's got cheese, it's creamy, it's saucy. We've got shrimp in there, which you could switch out with chicken or you could have on its own. It takes 15 to 20 minutes from start to finish. You can whip it up in an instant and it will get absolutely devoured by the family. I think you definitely need to give my rosé pasta shrimp a try. Before we move on to the recipe, I wanted to let you know we now have a website, www.dadliciouseats.com. So I'm going to be popping all of my recipes on there. So don't worry about having to write things down as we go through the videos. Everything will be on there. You can also message me on there if you want to see, or if you want to give me any feedback about the channel or the website, let me know, and it will be much appreciated. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get cooking. Right, so ingredients for this dish. We're going to start off with prawns or shrimp. So we're looking at about 450 grams or so of them, or a pound. We're looking at 600 grams of chopped tomatoes, which is a tin and a half. 200 or 300 milliliters of double or heavy cream. 400 grams of pasta. Some olive oil. A little bit of chili powder or flakes. 2 balls of mozzarella. And a good sized block of parmesan. 4 cloves of garlic. And then some parsley to garnish. First things first, let's get the pasta cooked. So pan of boiling water, add in a generous amount of salt, and we're going to put in our pasta. So for a family of 4, you're looking at about 400 grams or so of pasta to make a good portion. So we're going to cook this 12 to 15 minutes until it's ready. You'll know when it's ready. So moving on, we're going to start with the sauce. So first up's the garlic. So we've got 4 cloves of garlic here, and we're not going to mince it this time. We're going to give some added texture to the dish. So we're just going to slice it up very, very thinly. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're not a subscriber already, why not go ahead and click the button? I've got tons of recipes I want to share with you. Loads of hints and tips that I think will go down really well, especially if you're a busy dad or a busy mum and you've not got a great deal of time to spend cooking. I don't believe it takes a lot of money and time to create really good dishes. So here we go. Let's slice up the garlic. And just try and make it as thin as possible. If you can, use a sharp knife. And this is the result that we want. So we'll just do that with the other garlic cloves as well. When those are ready, let's get a pan on for the sauce. So hot pan, pop in some olive oil. We probably want about 3 tablespoons or so. Doesn't need to be particularly accurate. And we're going to throw in the sliced garlic. Now we're just going to cook this off for a couple of minutes until it becomes nice and fragrant. Until the garlic, or the edges of the garlic start to go a little bit brown. You definitely don't want to overcook it. Burnt garlic is bad garlic and it's bitter, and you need to start again. So that's been going a couple of minutes. In goes the tomatoes. I'm using 600 grams, which is a tin and a half. So that's going to feed, for me, that's going to feed 5 people really, really well. You could probably get away with just 1 tin if there's 4 of you, or 2 adults and 2 children. In goes the chili, something you can increase or decrease depending on personal preference. And we're going to season it with a little bit of salt. Now, always under season at the start because it's much easier to increase salt rather than take it away. Also, you've got parmesan in here, which tends to be quite salty. So I'm going to break in the mozzarella into the dish. Now, previous video, someone hurled abuse at me for telling me, oh, why are you tearing this in? Why not just cut it up? Well, you know what? Doesn't matter. Go ahead and cut it up if you want. I think good quality ingredients should be treated as good quality. It's good to get your hands in. It's good to feel them. But I'm really not precious. Just however you want to pop it in is fine. Just don't chuck it in as one big lump because that will take forever to melt. So after the mozzarella, give that a little bit of a stir. And that's going to take probably about 10 minutes or so to melt down nicely into a sauce. But we're also going to add in the parmesan. So you probably want about half of the Parmesan that you grated earlier. As a reminder, so you don't have to write this down, all of the ingredients and the recipe are on www.dadlicisseats.com. As I also said earlier, it is in progress, so please don't judge the website based on it being half done. So now it's time for the shrimp. Try and get nice sized shrimp, or as big a shrimp as you can find, because that just makes it far more luxurious, because no one wants to be picking out these quarter inch prawns that there's not much texture to them, there's not a great deal of flavour to them. Just go ahead and get the big ones. It only takes a few minutes for these to cook. As you can see, they're nicely cooked through. The cheese is melted, the sauce is looking really tasty. I've got one final ingredient to the main dish, and that's the double cream. So you want about 200 to 300 millilitres of cream in the dish, and that's what takes it away from this sort of orangey, well, not really orangey, but this reddy colour, and turns it a bit more of a rosé sort of pink colour. Give that a little stir around. Leave that for a couple of minutes just to bring that up to temperature, because obviously the cold cream will have brought the temperature of the sauce down. And then we're going to give it a taste. So always, always, always taste your food as you go along. It lets you amend the flavours, because what you don't want to do is get to the end of the dish and it's not quite right. But as you're going along, clearly the cheese is melted well, because this is really stringy and it's hanging off the spoon. You can work out what you need a little bit more of as you go forward. And in this case, I think it needs just a little bit more salt, but that's due to personal preference. So finally, it's time to add in the cooked pasta. So always make sure you've got a bigger pan than you think you'll need for this, because you don't want the pasta going over the sides and it going everywhere on your cooker. And just work the sauce nicely through the pasta there. The great thing about this is that during the time it took for the pasta to cook, the sauce is ready. So there's no waiting around. You can get the ingredients out, get it onto the plate in 15 to 20 minutes maximum. That looks like an absolute cracking dish. So to serve that up, we're just going to put a couple of spoonfuls of that, or ladlefuls of that, onto the plate. And then we're just going to finish it off with a couple of things, one of them being a little bit more Parmesan. And finally, a little garnish of chopped up parsley, flat leaf, not curly. And that's it. That is my rosé shrimp pasta. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you try it. I'd love to get your feedback. I'll be back with more great recipes soon. Until then, take care, guys.